At Volkswagen Lease Summit, car buying's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All our new cars are priced to lease at $199, $299, or $399 a month. Plus, we have rates as low as 1.9% for 60 months. And used cars for every budget. We make car buying easy. Get to VWLeaseSummit.com.
Hey, Brittany, your privilege is showing. No, I'm kidding. That's what some people, I'm sure, are saying on social media. So Brittany Mahomes stood up for Caitlin Clark, and good on her. Of course, Caitlin Clark has been getting beat up her first 10-plus games in the WNBA. People are jealous. They don't like her. There's a multitude of reasons for that we've covered. I think skin color is indisputably part of the conversation. And Brittany Mahomes took to social media this week in the wake of all the chaos around Caitlin Clark, who most recently just got body checked by a lady named Chennedy Carter of the Chicago Sky. I think she is a lady. And Brittany Clark, I just go based on what I see and can't see it all.
I found out yesterday her name's actually Kennedy.
Yeah.
It took me 2 days to figure that out.
Well, you know what? This exactly proves my point. Nobody cares about this league outside of Caitlin Clark. But everybody will benefit from Caitlin Clark's success and popularity. It will lift the entire sport. And Chennedy Carter will first off be a name that maybe people know how to pronounce because of Caitlin Clark. And on top of that, may one day make more money and actually get some endorsement deals. Now, I'm not sure who would be giving endorsement deals to people who body check Caitlin Clark, but either way, you get the point. Brittany Mahomes goes on social media in the wake of all the chaos this week and writes, at Caitlin Clark 22, keep doing your thing. Adding, you're a baller, and it's incredible to see what you're doing for the game and women's sports. Oh, man, you can't be doing that, Brittany. Saying this very much tongue-in-cheek. You are showing your white privilege rooting on someone like Caitlin Clark. What is wrong with you? Oh, my goodness.
How dare you?
Come on, Brittany. You can't be going down this road. No, she can. And good on Brittany Mahomes for doing it, by the way. Someone who is one of the part owners of the KC Current, obviously, women's soccer team right here in Kansas City. That's how everybody should be looking at this. You know, we've heard for a generation from people who are like, oh, women don't get the same attention as men on sports. Well, now the WNBA is getting a lot of attention because of Caitlin Clark, and they're like, that's not what we meant. No, this is not how this is supposed to go. And now it becomes all about white privilege or something. It's like you can't ever appease some of these people. They complain, they get everything under the sun to complain about. And then finally, they get what they want. Finally, there's there's some juice around women's basketball. College with Caitlin Clark when she was at Iowa. Now the WNBA. I mean, she's averaging 16,000 people at her games. Compare that to Angel Reese, another one of the rookie WNBA stars, and her games are averaging about 8,000 people a game. So it goes to show you it is clearly driven by Caitlin Clark. And yes, part of her appeal is being from Middle America and being relatable. There's no doubt. I'm not denying that for a second. I'm not. But it's also because of her game. Her game is one that people find very attractive right now. You know, hit three-pointers from the logo, Steph Curry-esque. That's what's in the game of basketball. So to make it all about relatability is simply not true. If she was a big bruiser down low, it wouldn't be as appealing. And yes, she's good-looking by WNBA standards. Okay? I mean, I'm just going to say it because I know some people don't want to say it. But there clearly is an animosity here that is building against Caitlin Clark. And if this kind of what appears to be very overt racial hostility continues, there's a chance that she's going to get injured. And if that happens, the WNBA is screwed. The WNBA has got to be smart here and actually do what it needs to do to protect its stars. What does the NFL do? The NFL has continued to screw with the rules so the quarterbacks basically can't get hurt. You can barely touch the quarterback now. The NFL, which, by the way, has a much more solid brand, that if Patrick Mahomes leaves tomorrow is still wildly popular and getting tens of millions of viewers every Sunday. But even they realize, gosh, we got to protect the quarterback because the stars in this league are the quarterback. WNBA has got to send a message to its officials that we cannot have our star, and there's only one of them right now, no matter what these other people tell you. There is one star in the WNBA. We cannot have our one star potentially getting injured and getting beat up on a nightly basis like this. Now, you want to be tough? You want to do the tough guy routine? That's okay. That's fine. But there's doing the tough guy routine, little bumps, little shoves, and then body checking people, which is what Kennedy Carter, formerly Chennedy Carter, did here in the last few days, John. That's what this is.
No, I just watched the play. I know people like to talk about it being the game and they need to learn. No, see, when somebody walks away from you and then turns around and comes up behind you, that wasn't part of any play.
No, that was not being
it was
tough.
Clearly intentional. Right, it was being an a-hole.
Yes, exactly right. So there's no doubt that as far as I can tell looking from afar, this anti-Caitlin Clark white derangement syndrome is very much real. And there is incredible jealousy and bias against Caitlin Clark right now by her fellow WNBAers. And if this was happening in reverse, could you imagine, just like put the shoe on the other foot here for a second, prominent black female athlete goes into white sport and dominates and creates wild popularity for said sport, and that one person is getting the kind of treatment that Caitlin Clark is getting the last few weeks? How do you think the media narrative would change? I mean, it's I don't think it's fair to say it's Jackie Robinson-esque, because what Jackie Robinson dealt with, no person should ever have to deal with. But there is a hint of it that is being applied to Caitlin Clark. She's not dealing with what, Jackie dealt with when it came to the fans, the disgusting behavior, not being able to stay in hotels like so many of these athletes couldn't when they broke the color barrier. I'm not suggesting that, but there's an element of it that is very much racially driven, and people are afraid to bring it up. Certainly sports media is not going to bring it up, because if anybody on sports radio said this, I mean, they would probably be castrated by some of the loud sports media voices in their space. They would be scared to death to say it, so they're not going to say it. But it's undoubtedly true that part of the hatred towards Caitlin Clark is because of the color of her skin. And we used to call that anti-American. Now we just find reasons to excuse it.
At Volkswagen Lease Summit, car buying's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All our new cars are priced to lease at $199, $299, or $399 a month. Plus, we have rates as low as 1.9% for 60 months and used cars for every budget. We make car buying easy. Get to VWLeaseSummit.com.